All right, so what we're going to review now is briefly how the valves in the heart function. So where this is covered in your lecture, the lecture 17 on the heart on slide 11, there is basically talking about the valves. So your heart has 4 valves. Remember, the whole goal of the valves is to prevent the backflow of blood. So in other words, think of it as a one-way door, right? So blood is constantly going to be moving one way through the heart. And what we're going to focus on are the 2 atrioventricular valves. So based off of the name, atrioventricular, the atrio is for the atria, which are the 2 chambers on top. And then the ventricular is for the ventricles, or your 2 chambers on the bottom. So where you'll find your AV valves are on the left side of the heart between the left atrium and the right, or sorry, between the left atrium and the left ventricle, and on the right side of the heart between the right atrium and the right ventricle. And so why we're going to focus on these is because they have a very specific structure. So they have connective tissue cusps, or in other words, on the top are the connective tissue flaps. And you'll notice that the AV valve on the right side is called the tricuspid valve also. Tri is 3. So there's 3 connective tissue flaps. The AV valve on the left is called the bicuspid valve. Bi is 2. So there's 2 connective tissue flaps. And so you can think of the cusps, or these connective tissue flaps, as the actual doors that open and close. But importantly, they're attached to chordae tendineae. And chordae tendineae are basically strings. They're commonly referred to as your heartstring. So you hear a kind of that common term, oh, they're tugging your heartstring. You literally do have strings in your heart, and that's the chordae tendineae. And then the chordae tendineae are attached on the bottom to papillary muscles. So all 3 of these are connected. So in the cartoon version, you could see it here. The white right here are the cusps. So the one on the left side would have 2 cusps. The one on the right side would have 3 cusps. The strings that come off of the cusps right here, those are the chordae tendineae. And the chordae tendineae are attached to the papillary muscle on the bottom. So notice the papillary muscles are anchored into the ventricle wall. So now the important thing is that they're all connected, because the fact that they're all connected is going to be how we can explain how they actually shut. So when I say explain how they function, I'm asking you to explain, how do the valves close? In other words, they're going to close so that blood can't go in reverse. So blood should always be going from the atria on the top down to the ventricles below. And then these valves should close such that the blood cannot go in reverse. All right, so how do they close? Is we start off with the muscle. And think about muscle, right? The muscle's job is to contract. And when they contract, they shorten, right? So to close the valve, the first thing that has to happen is the papillary muscles contract. And so they're going to contract. Notice when they contract, they'll shorten. So when they shorten, what they're going to do is pull on the cords, the chordae tendineae, right? Because they're attached. So now my chordae tendineae get pulled down, right? Yanked down. And then now attached to the top of the chordae tendineae are the cusps. So when the cords get pulled on by the papillary muscle, the cusps actually get pulled on. And when they get pulled on, they come together and they collapse shut. And so now your valve is closed, and then blood cannot go back in reverse, right? So again, your papillary muscles have to contract. When they contract, they shorten and then pull on the chordae tendineae. When the chordae tendineae get pulled on, they're pulled down. They pull on the cusps. And these connective tissues cusps, when they get pulled on, they basically all come together and collapse and shut. And therefore, your valve is closed. So that's the mechanism. And then just to look at it on APR, I've got highlighted here the papillary muscles. So again, they're in the walls of the ventricle. So when they contract, notice they're going to pull on the cords. So right here are the chordae tendineae. Right? And then just to look at the chordae tendineae, they'll show you it over here on this side. And then so notice here anchored in the wall, the chordae tendineae, they're going to be attached to the papillary muscle. So this example down here is papillary muscle. So then on top of the chordae tendineae are the actual valves. So, right here is the right atrioventricular valve, right? That's the cusp. So again, on the right side, there's going to be 3 cusps. So they'll get pulled shut. And then on the left side, right, here's the left AV valve or the connective tissue cut. And so on the left side, there's going to be 2. So again, notice it's going to be papillary muscle contracts, pulls on the cords, then the cords will pull the cusp close, therefore closing the valve, and therefore blood cannot go backwards.